What is up, YouTube? This is T Quentin1 coming at you with another video, and today I'm going to talk to you about Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, the second installment in the Indiana Jones franchise. I've said on many occasions that Raiders of the Lost Ark, the first film in the series, is the greatest film of all time, at least in my opinion. But a lot of you were probably wondering what I thought of the movies that followed it. For instance, I've said on just as many occasions that Star Wars is the greatest trilogy of all time. But if Raiders is the best movie, why doesn't that title belong to the Indiana Jones trilogy? Temple of Doom is why. Not that it's a terrible movie or anything, but it's hard not to be a little disappointed in it after the cinematic gold that was Raiders of the Lost Ark. It does have its positives, and the stuff that's good in this movie is really good. For instance, can I just say, this has my favorite opening scene to any of the Indiana Jones movies, because it doesn't start out how you expect it would. It plays with the audience's expectation. It opens with a musical number, and a fairly entertaining one, I might add. I'm sure a lot of people were confused, but I dug it. Harrison Ford is also still awesome as the character of Indiana Jones. Although I do think this film should have developed him more. I mean, we really don't know any more about him after Temple of Doom than we did after Raiders, but he's such a likable character. As I said in my Raiders review, he's not some invincible action hero. He feels vulnerable, and that, to me, makes him more endearing. I like that this film, unlike the first, was less about finding a treasure and more about freeing these oppressed people. There's still an artifact, the magic rocks of Who Gives a Shit, but they aren't the main focus of this movie like the Ark of the Covenant was for the last one, and I thought that was a cool change of pace. Biggest positive, hands down, though, the action scenes. That's one element I can safely say that it lived up to Raiders of the Lost Ark. The fights in this movie are fucking amazing, and a lot more violent, too. There's more blood in this movie. People get shot in the face. They get impaled. The dude gets his heart ripped out. It's awesome. It's much darker than the last film, too, with some pretty disturbing scenes. And John Williams' score is one of his best. The Parade of the Slave Children, in particular, is my favorite piece of music he's made to date. So, while the good stuff in Temple of Doom is really good, the bad stuff is still pretty bad, and they bog down the movie significantly. The worst thing in Temple of Doom, by far, in my opinion, is the supporting cast, i.e. Willie and Short Round. The side characters in the first movie were awesome. Marion, Sala, even Marcus was really likable. Here, though, I hated these people. Willie is easily the weakest love interest in an Indiana Jones movie, and from a character perspective, all she does is bitch. That's her role in this movie, to complain about everything, and that wears thin pretty fucking fast. I mean, it was just a waste of a pretty talented actress. Though the blame for this one doesn't lie on her or Spielberg, this was Lucas. See, even though I consider myself somewhat of a defender of George Lucas, it was his idea to make the character this way. The reason was he was going through a very bitter divorce at the time, so he decided to make the woman in this movie as annoying as possible. Look it up. Alternatively, whose idea was it to give Indiana Jones a little kid sidekick? Seriously, Short Round got on my nerves so much. While both these characters do get a little more tolerable in the second half, when the film becomes darker, they were just so grating at the beginning of this film. And even when that tonal shift happens, I didn't get attached to them. Also, the tone is really inconsistent in the first half. Now, I've said that it does even out in the second half of this movie when it gets a lot darker, but there's a lot of weird slapstick and jokes that fall flat. So while Temple of Doom has its great moments, its tonal shifts and annoying characters make it a hugely inferior movie to Raiders of the Lost Ark. There's enough good here that I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, but I can't highly recommend it unless you're a huge Indiana Jones fan. Well, that was my video. It's T.1 signing out.